Hey friends, thanks for joining me for your social emotional lesson. We've finished Unit 1 on acceptance and diversity. We're moving on to Unit 2. Unit 2 is all about emotions. What are emotions? Great, I heard you name some examples of emotions. Emotions are feelings that happen when you react to something. So that could be like when you're happy, sad, angry, confused. Those are all examples of emotions that people might have. When you have emotions, something happens to your outside body, how you look. What happens when you're happy? That's right. Maybe you smile, maybe you dance around because you're so happy and excited. What happens to your body when you're sad? Sometimes you could cry or even frown when you're feeling sad. So true. Those are things that happen to your body when you experience happiness or sadness. It can be kind of difficult to understand other people's emotions. So if you see someone smiling, you could probably assume that they're happy. But sometimes it's not so obvious how a person is feeling. So, we're going to read some stories to help you understand your own emotions, but also to understand other people's emotions. This is going to help you with your relationships in your life. So, in this story, Gabriel feels a bunch of different emotions. Listen for the different ways that Gabriel is feeling throughout the story. We're going to stop and talk about it throughout the story, and then we'll talk at the end too. You ready? One Friday morning at 7:04 a.m., something hit Gabriel right in the middle of the forehead. Doink! He frowned and rubbed his head as he sat up in bed. Then he saw his little sister peeking around his bedroom door. Gotcha! She yelled and disappeared down the hallway. Gabriel ran over and slammed the door shut. How do you think he's feeling? Yeah, look at his face. He slammed the door. So, do you think he's very happy? How would you feel if you got woken up like that? Something hitting you right in your forehead. I agree. I don't think I would like that either. Let's see how Gabriel reacts. Well, that's a great way to start the day, he grumbled out loud. As Gabriel turned back around, he saw a shiny green bouncy ball on the floor next to his bed. His mouth dropped open and he ran over to pick it up. I can't believe my sister found this, he thought. Now I'll finally be able to give it back to Kim. It was great that he had the bouncy ball again, but he sure wished that his sister hadn't used it to wake him up. Do you think he's feeling a little bit better? I think so too. He's happy that he found the ball, but still kind of annoyed that he was woken up like that. Hopefully his day gets better. Gabriel pulled a pair of socks out of his dresser and glanced at the clock. It was 7:06. Oh no, he thought. I was supposed to wake up 20 minutes ago. Oh, friends, you know that feeling when you're running late for class or for an appointment or something? Does that feeling feel good? I don't know about you, but I don't like feeling late. Let's see how Gabriel's feeling. His class was having a spelling test first thing in the morning, so he couldn't be late for school. Gabriel's stomach started twisting up in knots as he got dressed as fast as he could. Then he snatched his backpack and the bouncy ball and hurried out of his room. How do you think he's feeling? He's late, he has a test that he needs to run to, and his stomach is turning in knots. Yeah, maybe he's worried or a little bit nervous. Hey, what's the hurry? Gabriel's dad asked him as he burst into the kitchen. I have to meet Kim so we can walk to school together, Gabriel answered. And I already overslept. You'll be okay, his dad reassured him. I have some extra time this morning, so I'll drive you over to the park to meet her. Gabriel's whole body relaxed, and he let out a big breath as he sat down at the kitchen table. Thanks, Dad. How do you think he's feeling now? He let out a big breath. His dad smiled at him and told him that it would be okay. Yeah, maybe he's feeling a little bit relieved. As Gabriel ate his breakfast, his face suddenly lit up. "Oh my gosh," he exclaimed. "I forgot all about the Fall Farm Festival today. It's going to be so much fun." His dad raised his eyebrows. "What's the Fall Farm Festival?" Gabriel explained that there was going to be some real farmers visiting their school to talk about all the things that are done on a farm. Gabriel's teacher said that there would be a tractor out in the schoolyard for them to see up close, and maybe even some farm animals. As he talked about the festival, Gabriel began to feel more and more tingly inside. He could hardly wait until his afternoon. Now, how does he feel? Happy? Maybe super excited? Friends, think about something that you look forward to, maybe like going to the park or hanging out with friends. Doesn't that make you feel excited? That's kind of like a brain match of how Gabriel's feeling. Hopefully, he can keep this feeling for the rest of his day. Said his dad, looking out the window. It's already 7:30 and the sky is still very dark. If it storms this morning, that festival might have to be postponed. Gabriel clenched his fist around the bouncy ball and banged it on the table. "That's not fair!" he cried. "I've been waiting all week to see a tractor." Gabriel's dad smiled at him kindly. "I'm sorry, kiddo. It sounds like you were really looking forward to seeing to this festival. Why don't you stop and take a couple of deep breaths now?" As Gabriel breathed in and out, his shoulders dropped a little and he unclenched his fists. The bouncy ball rolled slowly out of his hand, across the table and onto the floor. Plop. "I just really wanted to see the tractor today," he said softly. How do you think he's feeling? Maybe a little bit sad and disappointed? How did his dad help him? What strategy did his dad tell him to try to calm down? You got it. He smiled at him really softly and he told him to take a few deep breaths. Did that help? Yeah, he unclenched his fist. His shoulders dropped, so that means that his body was starting to relax. He's so lucky that his dad was there to help him. Gabriel's bottom lip pushed out and his eyes filled with tears. His dad gave him a big hug and handed him a napkin. "It's almost 7:45, so let's finish breakfast and get ready to leave for school." Gabriel nodded inside and kept eating, feeling very icky. After breakfast, Gabriel finished getting ready for school and then practiced the spelling words again while he waited for his dad in the kitchen. "I think I know how to spell all the words," he thought to himself, smiling a little. Then he pulled the bouncy ball out of his pocket and began tossing it against the floor and catching it while he waited. Boing, boing, boing. Suddenly, the ball bounced sideways and rolled across the floor. "Oh, where did you go?" Gabriel thought as he peered around the table. Then he saw something sparkle in the corner. It was sunlight bouncing off the light green ball. He gasped and stood up with his mouth and eyes open wide and turned around to see a bright ray of sunshine streaming through the kitchen window. It isn't going to storm. Gabriel jumped up and down, feeling a huge burst of excitement. It was 8:04 when Gabriel and his dad arrived at the corner of the park to meet Kim. As Gabriel got out of the car, he held the bouncy ball tightly in his hand so he could give it back to her. "Have fun at the festival," his dad called. Gabriel waved to his dad and then ran to meet Kim with a big smile on his face. It sure felt like a great way to start the day. Thanks for listening to that story with me. Wow, Gabriel sure experienced a lot of emotions throughout the story. He was happy, he was sad, he was angry. His body gave us clues that he was feeling different ways. We talked about how when you're happy, you smile. When you're sad, maybe you cry. When you're angry, I know that Gabriel was clenching his fists. These are all clues that tell us how a person is feeling. If we're not sure how somebody's feeling, what do you think we could do? That's a good strategy. You can try and be a good friend by smiling at the person and showing kindness and maybe asking, "Are you okay?" or "How are you feeling?" Those are two really good strategies when you're not sure how someone's feeling. Throughout the book, Gabriel's dad helped him with his emotions. What's one strategy that Gabriel's dad gave him when he was upset? Nice remembering. He showed him kindness by smiling softly at his son and telling him to take a deep breath. Then he gave him a big hug. Those are really kind strategies that you can use when someone in your life is not feeling very happy. If you're not feeling very happy, you can use those strategies too. You can also ask someone that you love and trust to maybe give you a hug if you need it. So right now, my friends, you're going to go back to slide 23 and you're going to read the questions with a grown-up. You're going to discuss what happens to your body when you feel sad? What happens to your body when you feel happy? What happens to your body when you feel mad? And what are some strategies that you can use to show or control your emotions? Thanks again for listening. We'll keep working on how to identify and work with our own emotions and other people's.